Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday night, May 23rd, and I'd like to welcome you to The Ghost Files Live. I'm your host, Vincent DiSanti. I'd like to welcome you to the Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like this video. I promise if you love Friday the 13th, movies, independent filmmaking, crowdfunding, or animation, Godzilla, lots of other things, you're going to love it here. It's good to have everybody back. This is like our 5th or 6th week in a row. We're going crazy. I'm on a roll. I'm consistent, disciplined, ready to entertain you. This is going to be a fun show tonight. I have 2 guests that are going to be joining me, Rubi Armass and Juan Rivera from Mako Animation and Armass Productions. They're going to be here to show you a 3D tour of the set of Ghost in the Fog. We're actually going to get to walk around the set. You're going to get to do what we get to do is take a look behind the scenes. You're going to see how we're blending 2D and 3D animation. So if you're an animator or you want to get into animation or you've ever wanted to know about animation, you're going to love tonight's episode. But before I do that, we're going to get into the news. And before we get into the news, we're going to get into the comments and say hi to some people who are hanging out. Crafter Films is in the comments. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Showed up early, so you're excited. Hopefully you're still here. Anna's in the chat. Welcome, Anna Lamontre. As always, good to see you. Glad that you're pumped for tonight. Mitch the Ripper's here. Mardina made it early. Eric Resolute Blood is in the chat. Alley Girl is here. Tyler Adams here. What's up, Tyler? Tyler's doing some work for a good friend of mine, Steven, on a project. And looking forward to seeing some of that stuff. Who else is here? I saw some other Liam's in the chat. Brandon Scott Murphy's in the chat. Look at this guy showing up. Mask maker extraordinaire. Good to see you, buddy. Who's this down here? Mainly Jason 13. Perfect timing. Just got out of work. Well, welcome to work. And look, your icon looks way better than the Jason Universe logo. So great job over there. Is that? It's kind of got a little ghosty little cheek thing there, maybe. I don't know, but that looks like a nice part 6. Great job. Mikhail's here. Alay's here. Good to see everybody. Yeah, it's been an excellent week. Ghost in the Fog is on Indiegogo right now. You should know that. We are crowdfunding. We're about $12,000 already raised, but we're on our way to 50,000. There is a link in the description of this chat if you want to check out the Indiegogo. We will get to that in a little bit. But I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and hanging out. Reminder, if you want to get a question tonight for our guest, remember, we have super chats activated. Hit those up. Get those questions into our guests as we're taking a tour around Crystal Lake or while I'm doing the news. And speaking of, let's get to the news because we have some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to change some things up here. That shouldn't be my background. That should be the background. But we're going to start with convention appearances. We have a few coming up, one next week, starting with the Pottsville Film Festival next week in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, which is just outside Philadelphia. I had it on the west side of Pennsylvania for some reason, but it's like 45 minutes or maybe an hour outside of Pennsylvania, more central Pennsylvania. Come check it out. Never Hike Alone 2 is going to be playing Saturday, May 31st at 9:15 at the Yingling Mansion. The tickets are right there at the QR code. You can hit that up to grab your tickets and come hang out. That's going to be an awesome event. I'm going to be there, visit supporting my good buddy DJ. So if you're in the area and you're a Friday the 13th fan, definitely come out and check out. I'm going to be there Saturday and Sunday. I'll be heading through Blairstown on Sunday. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. Maybe I'll run into Brad Caleb Kane. You never know. Coming up next on the Never Hike Alone screening tour, Horror Night Festival in Wolfsburg, Germany at the Delphine Theater. My good buddy Ash, who does the subtitles, the German subtitles for the Never Hike Alone films, is one of the proprietors of this nightly event. It's a 2-night event. Never Hike Alone is going to be playing at Friday night. I actually think that's the wrong time, but that is the right QR code for the tickets. So if you're watching from Germany, or if you watch this from Germany later on before Friday the 13th, you can definitely check this out. They will be happening Friday the 13th through the 14th. I got a few pictures. I know this might be a little low res, but you got Terrifier, you got Demon, you got The Hills Have Eyes, you got Never Hike Alone 2, you got Barbarian, you got Wrong Turn, you got lots of great films. Friday and Saturday, both nights. Definitely check it out. Want to highlight the gentleman on the left there. That's Ash. He's the contributor who helps us out with some of the people who help him run the festival. Here's a picture of the theater. One of the guys at the local video store with the poster up front. So they're definitely excited about this upcoming Friday the 13th. They do this every year. We're huge supporters. They played Never Hike in the Snow before, Never Hike Alone. So thank you again for letting Never Hike Alone join your screening again this year. Coming up in July, we have Monster Expo in Nashua, New Hampshire. We got Kane Hodder, we got Brad Laurie, we got Miko Hughes, we got Mark Price, and we got Brett Wagner. It's going to be a great time. And we got one more guy. Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm going to be there too. I have my own table. I'm going to be set up in the rows, hopefully very close to Kane. If you're in the area, please come out Saturday, July 26th, Sunday, July 27th. I'll be there both days supporting Womp Stomp Films. I'll have as much stuff as I have left over from the campaign as I can do it. But you come out, take a picture, hang out with Kane. It's going to be a good old time. And just announcing this week, big news. It's official. I'm going to be a part of the 45 years of Friday the 13th Crystal Lake Nightmares event in Burbank, California from August 8th through the 10th. I have my own table. It's going to be awesome. I'm trying to get more people there. It's not official yet because they haven't announced it, but I'm going to announce it early because he's my guy. Guess who else is going to be there? Yes, Andrew. Kyle McLeod himself, Andrew Lady, is going to be there, along with Tom Matthews, along with Vinny Guastafaro. Ron Sloan's going to be there. Judy Aronson's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of great names in Friday the 13th. But the Never Hike Alone crew is going to be there in full force. You got me and Andrew, Tom, and Vinny. There are two more that are going to be added to that. I won't say their names yet. I'm going to leave that up to our rep agency to release that eventually. But I did want to spoil Andrew. I'm so excited. This is his first ever con as Kyle. So if you're in the Burbank area, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you have to come out and hang out with this. We're going to have so many cool, like the merch by the time we get to August is going to be rad. I'm going to be bringing those long sleeves. I'm going to be bringing more Blu-rays. It's going to be a good time. So definitely come check that out. I mean, look at this poster. Super stoked to be a part of this, and I cannot wait. So yeah, that's so far up until August. Looks like it's coasting pretty well for on the convention circuit. There's some other stuff. There's one lining up for Vegas pretty soon. I reached out to one that's in the Midwestish. I don't want to give away anything, but if you want me to come to your town, make sure that you hit me up here. WompStompFilms@gmail.com. If there's a convention in your area and you want Womp Stomp Films there, contact me. I'll contact my booking agent. And I'll do my best to get my slot there and get you a table and we can come out and hang out. Sound like a plan? Good. Really quickly, I'm going to get into some other news. So now we're shifting into the news segment. I feel like I'm in the Daily Show. I want to talk about something that kind of came up this week about this. Friday the 13th, the game, as far as we are concerned right now, is not coming back. There has been an insane amount of hype around Friday the 13th, the game this week, about it possibly coming back based on a press release that was released by Stryker Entertainment earlier this week. Let's go to that piece right here. Some of my stuff got through. So Stryker Entertainment names exclusive licensing agent for Horror Inc.'s Jason Universe Conserver Products Initiative. So what does this mean? It means that Stryker Entertainment is going to handle the PR. They're the ones who are going to be, brokering the deals between the licensing companies of games and movies and toys and all of those things. They're going to help promote it and put these things out, where to put these things, who to create these collaborations and these initiatives with that the Jason Universe wants to work with, Horror Inc. And it's interesting that Friday the 13th LLC wasn't mentioned to that. But the thing that had everybody flipping out was this line right here. This initiative also includes Friday the 13th, the game, and Crystal Lake. So as we know, Friday the 13th, the game, last we knew about it was this. It was Friday the 13th, the game by Gun Media, Ilphonic, and I think Nighthawk Studios were the three companies that were working on Friday the 13th, the game. And in as we know, the lawsuit killed the game. It went under, and as of December 31st, 2023, Gun Media no longer has the license to make Friday the 13th, the game. But because this showed up in the press release, it got a lot of fans thinking, oh my God, the game's going to come back. Well, let's take a few things to look back and see the rumors surrounding this. First, I want to bring us back to a story that was reported first by, shout out to Friday the 13th franchise.com, but back in June of 2023, it was brought to the attention of Friday the 13th fans that another game was in development for Friday the 13th from none other than Harry Manfredini himself. Now, this came from William Lockwood, who I forget the name of his, because I clipped it off, so I didn't have it there, but it's like horror something, but he's the one who had the scoop. He met with Harry Manfredini, and basically what Harry said was, if I can find the quote, which I believe it's right here, where during our conversation, he also revealed that he'll be working on a new and yet unannounced Friday the 13th game being developed by a different company than the previous one produced by Gun Media and featuring more realistic looking characters. The game will supposedly be done in a different style to that of the previous asymmetrical multiplayer, says Manfredini. He didn't know many other details about the game beyond this involvement, but it's still exciting to know that there's something new on the horizon for the series. So we had that confirmed by two different news sources, one Friday the 13th franchise and this other network that then went viral. What else happened in this whole scheme of things is that there was someone called Cinestealth who posted this after the Striker announcement, which was Jason's coming to Fortnite next season. The collab will allegedly feature no reference to the Friday the 13th brand, which they find interesting. So the Friday the 13th brand, maybe because Striker is only working with Horror Inc. and not Friday the 13th LLC. That might be why there's no reference to Friday the 13th. Also, two new Friday the 13th games are in stages of development. One is a multiplayer and the other is a more linear gameplay. So the question is that where is this information coming from? Because this is from an account that is a 5,000 follower or 6,000 follower, spoilers feel good in a place like this, Cinestealth. How actually factually relevant is this company? So based on these two, like this press release, like the wording of that press release and this person, everybody in the Friday the 13th world is now convinced that Friday the 13th, the game, is coming back. But Friday the 13th, the game, can mean a lot of things. Friday the 13th has been three different games. Friday the 13th, the game, the asymmetrical game, the 1989 Nintendo game, and as well as the 1986 computer game. So Friday the 13th has been used as the title for the game three different times. Now, it hasn't been called Friday the 13th, the game, but because Gun's licensing ran out in 2023, Gun would have to then redo their license with them, which Gun has stated in the past that they don't want to deal with the Friday the 13th rights holders because the rights are too divided and it's too hard for them to get the work done. You're also talking about this. Friday the 13th, the game, was created by Gun Media, Ilphonic, and Nighthawk. These are all proprietary builds. They're proprietary environments. They're proprietary rigs in the characters. They're proprietary dance moves. All of that mocap. Horror Inc. doesn't necessarily, or maybe they do, own all of that. And for someone to come in and build a new game, they would basically have to do a remaster. Now, talking about it and it actually happening are two different things. Because if there's one thing that the Jason universe has taught us, is that they're not spending a lot of time and attention on this. What makes fans think that Friday the 13th right now has two games in development, like they're spending that type of money to invest that much in two different games? My wonder is, are they confusing this fan reboot with the multiplayer that they think is coming back? Or do they just have high hopes that this is going to happen and this will do it? Now, if I was working at the Jason universe or these studios, I would definitely say it is worth going back to Gun Media and talking to them. It is definitely worth bringing the game back if they're willing to do it right. Now, a lot of people are equating Gun Media's shutting down of, or not shutting down, but the last kind of update on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game as some kind of sign that they're shifting over to another game. But I will say this. At one point, Gun has been attached to multiple other horror franchises, and I've heard about those other horror franchises. I've also heard about certain actors doing mocap work for these types of games, which means, like, the last time I talked to Ronnie and the last time I heard kind of through the grapevine from Wes, they weren't interested in working with Horror Inc. again, and they had other horror properties that they wanted to work on and are working on actively. And so they're moving on to those. So to just assume that Gun has come back and that it's all water under the bridge and all these different things is a very dangerous thing to start getting out into the Friday the 13th community, simply because there's no proof. There's no proof that this is actually happening. And now what is this doing? This is creating a ton of false hope for that when they do announce this eventual streamlined game, it looks like a single player game. That's sort of what we're kind of grasping at, is that it's going to have this sense of disappointment. And that's exactly not, that's not what the Jason universe and what the Friday the 13th brand wants. And this is something that, again, gives me concern with the Jason universe, because it's things they're not paying attention to word something in a press release that says Friday the 13th, the game, and not understand the type of ripple effect it's going to have throughout the fan base. That goes to show you again that there's certain elements they're not paying attention to, or there's certain elements to here that they wanted to keep this a secret that they're not doing because they're overplaying their hand. Which brings me to my next part of the news, which is saying thank you to somebody in the chat by the name of Brandon Scott Murphy for writing this wonderful write-up about the open letter from fans to the Jason universe this week. And I couldn't imagine a better segue into this than sort of the issues that have already been caused since they released the first image of the mask, since they released the first image of their full Jason, since they've now released the Stryker Entertainment press release, which has everybody confused and thinking the Friday the 13th game is coming back with no word on what is actually happening or coming out. Friday the 13th is just around the corner, so I guess we could expect as fans something to be said or set up by the Jason universe. I mean, obviously with Friday the 13th coming up, it's got to be a target date for any company associated with the Friday the 13th brand to want to build something up and release news. So if I'm wrong about this game thing, I'm the number one person who wants to be wrong about it. And maybe they're doing the most excellent thing ever by getting everybody to talk about it, because that's what everybody is. And as Brandon mentions in this article, talking about letters from the fans to the Jason universe, it's one of those things where, you know, at this point, like, maybe they're so brilliant that they did this on purpose so we would talk about it and it would be relevant, or is it creating a bunch of negativity that's going to backfire on them? And what Brandon has written in this article, which appears on Friday the 13th franchise.com, which I have to say has a lot of references to Never Hike Alone, and talks about handing, or I guess that's kind of out of order, but you know, references to the Jason universe, references to Never Hike Alone and the type of care that we took with bringing the franchise back and the way that that worked. Also with the way that Ronnie and Wes and Randy and everybody at Gun Media did when they first brought back the game. The success of the game and how it became the most successful streaming game on, I think, Stream and Twitch during its height was because there was so much love from the fandom built into it, because it was built by fans. The reason why Never Hike Alone is so beloved by fans is because I'm an actual fan and I know how to speak to them. And we're slowly getting these trickles of information out from the Jason universe, which is sort of revealing that they don't necessarily, they love the brand, they want it to do well and they want it to make money, but they don't necessarily know how to drive the car just yet. And I will say, from the people that I have talked to behind the scenes, I gotta say the report that I got back was sort of that, was that there, it's not that they don't like the brand, it's not that they don't sort of know what it is, it's just more of they don't really know what to do with it, and they're looking for outside help on what to do with it. And I'm sure now that Brad Calum Kane is in the seat, he's guiding them in some length of degree, but at the same time, I can't imagine Brad seeing that, you know, rendering of Jason and being like, oh goody, show that to the fans. You know what I mean? I'm sure at some point he's like, there's this give and take where maybe he's working with them in a certain way. And it's like, okay, you guys got to do what you got to do, as long as it doesn't interfere with what I'm doing on Crystal Lake. It's just very interesting as far as, you know, the terms of that coming around here. So I just wanted to say just really quickly that you should definitely go and check out this article. It's on Friday the 13th franchise.com. You know, it goes in depth about just what Brandon has to say about the franchise, about how the fans need to be spoken to like fans. We need to be treated with respect. And that if the Jason universe and Friday the 13th LLC and Horror Inc. listen to the fans and bring us into the fold, it's just going to lead to better and better outcomes for these types of things. And, you know, like I said, like if I was, you know, on this account and I saw that on the press release, the first thing I would say was like, do we really mean that we want to release this? And I guess we'll see what that means in a couple of weeks. But as far as now, it's just, if you hear news and people saying the game is coming back, do not believe what you hear, at least until you start hearing it from official sources. And again, Friday the 13th franchise.com is the number one place you should be checking for Friday the 13th news. I'm going to be echoing anything they're saying on the channel every Friday night. I'll definitely be bringing up anything poignant that Jason and that his team has to say. But echoing off of Brandon's sentiment, I will say this: let's keep this going, folks. I've been seeing this all week. We want Womp Stomp. If you read that article and you want to get it around, make sure you repost it, tag We Want Womp Stomp on there. And while you're at it, tag some people like maybe the Jason universe, maybe Brad Caleb Kane, and anyone else who you think can sort of, you know, give us a leg up into hopefully getting myself and maybe some other members of the teams and other fans involved with what's going on in Jason Universe, get a few of us behind the scenes. The last time I got to go behind the scenes was with Gun Media, and I got to create the free kit kill. I got to work with the puzzle game, and they put Ghost Jason in the puzzle game. Good things only come of this. We have a complete design that you can take and you can give to the fans, and that the fans want and that they'll celebrate. I can't tell you how big it would have been if we got Ghost Jason in the Friday the 13th game. It's in the Resurrection game. It's in the fan built one. We've seen clips of it. It looks really cool. I think that's all we want. I mean, fans just want to be involved. They want to have a say, and they just want more Jason. So hopefully, like I said, all we can do is just continue to talk about it each week. We'll be here each week talking about it as it comes up, as it becomes relevant. But for now, we're going to focus on what we're doing internally for the Friday the 13th world. And that's going to bring us to Ghosts in the Fog. Right now, as you know, we are in an active campaign to get Ghosts in the Fog funded. We're around 11,500. Let me see. I got the clip right here. So yeah, 11,500, which is 23%. It actually went up more than this. I think it's at 11.6 or 11.7 now, since I made this slide. So we're doing really, really well. And if you haven't yet, you can check out this QR code right here. This will bring you right to the Indiegogo. You can pick out anything you want. If you're a previous backer from a previous campaign, you can email me at wompstompfilms@gmail.com. I have some perks for you. I have some secret perks for you. It's going to give you a little bit of a discount. There's 4 of them now, which is pretty cool. So that's if you want to pick me up, and I'm going to look. If you're a previous backer and I look up if you say you're a previous backer and I look up your email and you're not in the system, you're not getting those discounts. But if you are, I want to hook you up. If you back the campaigns before, I don't want to take too much money from everybody. I just want to get enough so we can do what we came out here to do and make this thing happen. Which is cool, I mean, we got a lot of great things. Like, I just want to highlight before I jump to my guests, the Never Hike Alone Blu-ray collection. Check this out. I got the discs from Tyler this week, the renders. So that's what it looks like. The entire collection all together. Doesn't that look nice and pretty? I know you bought the old ones, but you can use those old ones, and this can be the thing on your shelf. I mean, I own 5 different versions of Friday the 13th, and I still bought that box set. The more box sets we sell, I'm telling you guys, the box sets are the key to this whole thing. If we can get just a third of the original Never Hike Alone fan base to come back and grab their own box sets, even if they grab the box or the full box set, you're going to help us do what hasn't been done before, and that's put Jason Voorhees into animation. And that's going to be a good time for everybody. So speaking of that animation, I want to bring on 2 guests right now from Armass Productions and Mako Animation. First from Armass is Rubi. Add to stage and adding Juan to stage. And here they come. Boom. Here they are. Hey, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good to see you. Here, I'm hopping into some comments real quick, seeing what people are saying. But it's good to have you guys on the chat. Look, we got Davey Deathray saying, "Go Yankees." Thanks, buddy. Davey Deathray's in the chat. Looks like we got a bunch of stuff coming in, but it's good to have Rubi and Juan here. My 2 partners here for the Ghost in the Fog Friday the 13th animated fan film. Why don't you guys just introduce yourselves real quickly and just let the folks at home know what you're doing on the project? Rubi, why don't we start with you?
Well, hi everyone. My name is Rubi Armass. I am a director and producer at Armass Productions, as Vincent says. We are a boutique studio dedicated to creating 3D digital artistic content and production. And so we specializing in animation, film, and digital art sectors. So yeah, that's me.
And Juan, we've had you on the show before, so introduce yourself for the folks.
This is the second time I have been here on the Ghost Files, and I'm Juan Rivera, CEO and director of Mako Animation Studios. We are a 2D animation studio that we have been in contact and working with Vince from 2 or 3 years now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have been like going back and forward with some character designs and animation tests for Ghosts in the Fog, and it has been a really excited trip so far. So right now we are like in this association with Armass Productions to make this project Ghosts in the Fog from a 2D and 3D hybrid big thing,
Yeah.
So Well, very excited to be here.
Great. No, it's good to have you on. And it's good to be working with the both of you. It's been definitely a long road for Ghosts in the Fog. We've been, working it out behind the scenes. Obviously Never Hike Alone 2 ran into a bunch of roadblocks, and we had to burst through those. And we've been able to make some progress. And, during that time, we went from a fully 2D animation, and Ruby came on, and we started to adjust and create these 3D environments, which has made things a lot of it easier. Can you talk about sort of that blending of 2D and 3D, and what are some of the benefits of being able to use a 3D environment with the 2D characters?
Well, go on, Ruby.
Well, I'm gonna talk about the 3D side, but the experience bringing all the different concepts from Ghost in the Fog for this special project was such a fun thing, because we have talking with Juan that we want to bring all these 2D characters, but at the same we want to feel it, almost like you can touch all the Crystal Lake camp and whatever. So talking about this, we think about a 3D digital aspect. So with this digital technique, we can recreate all the atmosphere for the environment, and also you can almost feel the rain, the all the things that it's that create the Friday the 13th real experience. So that's why we want to transport all the concepts through a digital environment with 3D, but at the same time, we want to feel all the expressions of the 2D characters. So that's when we decided to mix all, we tried to mix, these two different techniques, and well, that's it.
Cool. Juan, was there anything you wanted to say about it?
Yeah, the thing that we incorporate 3D to the project, I am co-directing a Ghost in the Fog with Vince. I am very appreciated about that. But the thing is that we merge 2D and 3D animation to get like the 3D for environments and props, and get like this guide for a 2D from the 3D to a 2D, and work easily on the project as if, and we can get like the 3D map of Crystal Lake that you're going to show in just a moment. Sorry, spoilers, but we can travel through Crystal Lake and put the camera in one perspective or another, and then get the 2D characters in there. Like, okay, John is here, and Larry's here, Jason is here, and action. No, this is not working. Let's put the camera in another position and take the characters in another position, and it's like doing live action, but in a fun 3D animation style.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I think the two cool things about it, one is that, like, if we're doing this in 2D, we're really locked into our backgrounds. We got to paint all of those different backgrounds, and there are however many different backgrounds. Now our background is one big environment that, as we shift the camera, that just creates our environment. We're able to draw on that perspective, which makes it easy. Oh, not makes it easy, but sort of simplifies the work of having to go in and do all that background work or make changes to background. We're mostly focusing on we can focus mostly on the characters and bringing the best animation to life, rather than trying to get those two things to work if they're not quite lining up right away. I think another cool part of it too is that with the 2D animation, we're not going into the ultra complexities of having to do 3D animated rigged characters in a 3D world, because then that would take the cost of the time and the cost, and that would accelerate it to a point where it would be something we probably couldn't animate right now. So this is such a great blend of the two worlds, and why and how we're able to sort of create a project under this budget, and how we're able to kind of do this, which may open up, I know that our future aspirations for this are that this opens the door for not only, us to expand the Never Hike Alone universe, but some other animated projects that we have in the works. We talked about Ghost Chicken. We've talked about other things that we've had. I have other projects here. I know that, and we should talk about those in a second, some of the award-winning projects that guys have got going. But how this can really help kind of streamline. And then as we're building out Womp Stomp Films, as Mako and Armass are growing, that we can get these projects, done and turned around on good budgets, and they look, highly, like high production value. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about Juan? I want you to talk about, you just launched a new project. What was it called?
Oh, we have a new project called Horrorland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a project that we are merging 2D and 3D animation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing like a Castlevania Helsing style, animation style. And everything it's built around the history of horror cinema, bringing to his story about a mother and a daughter traveling on this universe called Horrorland. And every chapter is going to have different monsters and creatures and universe environments based on the horror cinema history, you know.
Yeah.
So this new project to Ghosts in the Fog is like the first project that we are merging Armass Productions and Mako Animation Studio, and then subsequently we are going to work on Horrorland with this same technique. So both projects are teaching us a lot of mixing the two techniques in animation.
Yeah, and like Juan mentioned before, we're co-directing this project. We met Juan was, I think you backed Never Hike in the Snow, correct?
Yeah.
So Juan had backed Never Hike in the Snow. I saw he worked. I saw his thing said Mako Animation, and we started talking and sort of kind of came from there. But I definitely couldn't do this without Juan. Juan is, the expert on animation, an animator himself, knows how to, make those sort of adjustments of where it's sort of I've worked in animation, but I've never worked in 2D, and so it's nice to have someone there who can help sort of bridge that gap of what we're trying to do when we're working back and forth on a shot. We had to work back and forth very closely on the script, along with Diego Valenzuela, who is one of the voice actors, and of course we're welcoming in Chelsea Rebecca and Zoran Gavojik. Zoran Gavojik for the other two characters as well. So it is a really nice team is forming around this, and now we're in the home stretch to really get this thing done. So I think without any further ado, I think that we should take our viewers on a tour of Camp Crystal Lake. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ruby, you ready? All right, let's get that screen share up. We're going to switch our view in a second as soon as that's ready to go. I'm going to slide us over. Bloop. And then it's
so we thank you for joining us today.
I know
for the virtual tour of Crystal Lake.
Okay, here we go. Boing. So here we are.
Can you confirm?
Yep, we can see, and we're in Crystal Lake. So before you get started, guys, you can see there's animation. This is a live world we're in. So we're stepping into the live world of Friday the 13th right now. Tell me what Friday night streaming show you've been able to do this on lately. Yeah, let's get that as wide as possible. That's great. All right, let's go. Ruby, you lead the way. You're our tour guide.
Let's see. So, and thank you for joining us today for the virtual tour of Crystal Lake or Ghosts in the Fog. We are going to show you a few sneak peeks about all the environment in which we work. So maybe you can recognize all these kind of styles that remind us from the Womp films, and we try to recreate it into a new, fresh, animated way for all of you. So.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go full screen with this. So I'm gonna.
Okay. So this is some of the cabins into the story. I don't know. I don't want to spoil some things to you, but there are 3 different cabins that has so much importance into the story. This is one of the cabins. This is more like a destroyed one, and this is the second one, and this is the first one. This is like the Jason's home. Maybe we
so Ruby, hang out here, and then maybe turn down the volume from the file just a little bit. It's a little. I think it might be coming through a little loud.
Okay.
But what I would, or maybe we can just. No, that's fine.
Can
Oh, yeah, we'll just turn that up for now. So while we're here and we're looking at this, what I will say right now is this is the cabin that you will notice from Never Hike in the Snow and Disappear. This was built not to scale, but to reference of that original camp, which has been knocked down since the original filming of Never Hike in the Snow, which was the last time that we filmed there. It was leveled. So it's so cool to see this cabin resurrected in 3D because we had a lot of really good memories there. Even and then Ruby, if you pan to the left and you show the other cabins.
Yeah.
So this cabin is also modeled off the one you recognize. This is the one that Officer Mabry goes into and looks around before he goes up into Jason's cabin. And then some of the other cabins here were references from some of our other camps as well. So these are actual cabins that are referenced from films in the Never Hike Alone library, which is really cool for me to see, just because it's just like going back there. There, and then a lot of this terrain too is just very, very similar as well.
Yeah, for sure. These are, some very important aspects for us. Especially, I will especially like, to thank my team for achieving the result. This is a beautiful result from the artist Melanie, Talia, and Max Molina. So we want to, reflect all the importance of the Friday the 13th experience in such a beautiful and horrific way. So yeah, this is part of one of the. Oh, maybe do you want that I entered? There is nothing.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean you can go
but
in. Yeah, you can take a look in there. I mean, just show people what's behind it. But hey, I mean, we got to look at the sign. The sign hanging above the door. We even got the screen door there. So this is all this is the same place where Mark Hill got killed. You know what I mean? So this is a really cool thing. Yeah, let's go inside. Let's see what it looks like out the windows.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this,
I mean, there's no props in here, but I mean, the building is here. It's built. If we ever needed to build those props, we could populate this in here. But this is, for the most part, pretty accurate to the way that the building looked on the inside too. And this is the building where I'd get changed to play Ghost Jason. And if you remember from Ghost in I'm not from Ghost in the Fog, but if Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, this is the view where we saw Mark Hill coming up. If you actually go to the window, Ruby, and kind of peer out. Yeah, this is sort of like that angle. If you go to the window to your left and kind of wrap around that wall. Yeah. So yeah, we look. This is the window where Jason got his picture taken, where Mark took his photo and all that. So this is all just really this is the cool part about it, is this is our world building of it, and that's why getting this is important, because it means that we can start to expand into some other stories around here. We can continue to build out the camp. Eventually, it would be nice to build out the main cabin from Never Hike Alone 1 and Never Hike Alone 2, and other pieces here. But this is definitely, I would consider this one of the, this would be like the welcome cabin to me. This would be the ones that when you first come in the camp, that you would see, and then you'd move past this. You'd see a lot of the stuff that you saw in Never Hike Alone 2. And then this, as you continue down the trail, you end up in the camp from Never Hike Alone 1. And that's how the camps kind of connect in my head.
Yeah.
Or evil.
The
Cool.
internet. Yeah.
No, this is great. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, and you got the sound figured out too. So great, we can get that going too. All right.
Yeah, I just turn on the music, but this is the main idea of the cabins. And I don't know if you want that I show you a few sneak peek from the lake.
Yeah, we should definitely get down to the lake. Of course, we got to see where Camp Crystal Lake is.
So we're going to go. Just imagine that you are floating about all this environment, but we prepared this for you guys. This is the lake. And also, maybe you recognize this little fellow guy that is just around the corner, just taking his, the bow and the arrow. So, yeah.
Nice.
So if we want to maybe get a little bit closer.
And there he is, hanging out. And you can see this. So actually stay right here and let this loop through. You can go right here. Let's let this loop through, Ruby. So as you guys can see, this is a perfect example of how we're blending the 2D and the 3D animation here. As they're, as he's being animated, you have the light that's being animated around him, the source light that's coming from behind him from the moon. This is a 3D environment, but right now this 2D character is standing in it and it looks like a 3D character. To me, that's really, really cool. And is really, and look, Ruby's able to move around him. And obviously we're going to stay in this perspective because that's the perspective we want to shoot him in. But as you can see, he'll adjust to camera. And, if we get too far off, then we break the rig. But here we really get to play around and get to do some really nice stuff with it. And again, the lighting techniques, it don't correct me if I'm wrong. This is in Unreal.
Yeah, this is Unreal.
This is all running. Look at this guy. Brandon loves it. Slasher guy loves it. Northside Gorilla loves it. Some of these icons are so funny. Yeah, people who say Jason shouldn't have a bow and arrow, they're wrong. They're just wrong.
Yeah.
This is just really, really cool.
No, Jason can have whatever he wants.
Yeah, and and hey, Jason kills. We can say this without spoiling it. Jason kills in this short with something he's never killed with before.
Yeah.
And it was Juan's idea. Juan was the one who came up with it. And it's a really, really cool kill. Hopefully we're gonna be able
thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be able to show that. Already the best anime ever made. I love the better. It's so wildly wrong. It makes sense for him to absolutely be incredible at every single activity the camp had when it was still populated by campers. I agree. A metal slinky, right? Nice. Let's what else do we have in this world? Look, we got fluid liquid for the lake.
Yeah.
Which we can mess with, which is nice. It actually really does. Juan, when you modeled this, were you looking at photos, or when you guys were doing this, were you looking at photos of Camp Novi Bosco? Because it looks really much like that silhouette.
Yeah, we took a lot of images from the original camp from Friday the 13th, the Camp Novi Bosco, and all the pictures that you got from Never Hike Alone also, and Never Hike in Snow. So we try to get the the exact same position from the hills and the lake from that sort of camps. Thank you. I'm a funny guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're using the teddy bear. That's the weapon he's saying. All right, here's all the world.
Yeah, this is the aerial shot.
Wow, that's so cool to see the lake like that. Yeah. Wow,
yeah, this is like the full shot, about all the world. Maybe it's like sorry.
For those who have more than 40 years old, we had the idea of making these kind of shots of the camp.
Yeah.
From the NES Friday the 13th game, from the one you have George, Mark, Christy.
Yeah.
When you got to see the Jason alarm and stuff, you had this higher view of the map. Yeah. So it was like an inspiration for getting this map that Ruby has on Unreal.
Nice. Yeah. All right. I'm going to start taking a couple of questions. This one first. In what part of the canon does the movie take place again? I forgot. This takes place like a couple years before Never Hike in the Snow. So I would say that this is maybe 2 to 3 years before the events of Kyle MacLeod and Mark Hill and, the events of Never Hike Alone 2 and everything. That happened in 2017. You could probably say this happened in 2014, 2015. It's between Disappear, which happens in 2004, and between Never Hike Alone, which happens in 2017. So all of the stories that we'll tell going forward, other than Never Hike Alone 3, are going to take place between 2004 and 2016. Get there. So we have another great question here. Just curious, story-wise, same thing. Does this take between Takes Manhattan and Never Hike in the Snow? Yes, that is exactly correct. This is the question I was trying to get to. And Ruby, this one's for you. Sorry, I know we're already past this point, but the campfire that was next to the animation of Ghost Jason, is that 2D or 3D? And can we get another look at it? Can we go check?
That's 3D. That's 3D. Yeah. That's some campfire that Ruby designed on 3D to put it at the side of Jason, and we get the lighting, the light on the side of Jason also on 3D and 2D to get like this volume on the character.
Yeah, let's go fly over and check that out for. I mean, I feel like I'm in Friday the 13th, the game right now, where I'm running over to like the campfire to go hide in the tent.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. A lot. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice little simple animation. And right now that's holding frame for, I think, for us right now, but it's a nice, it does exactly what we need, even though I don't think there are any campfires in the actual movie because they're lost. Here's
and this was like an idea that Ruby and Moy got from getting Jason a little bit of fire aside of him.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we have rain and we have fog and we have like a lot of things going on right there.
Yeah, well, we got an interesting request here. I'm a modder from the Friday the 13th video game, and I'd love to make a map based on Never Hike Alone. Is it possible to get in contact with you guys to get some behind the scenes footage to recreate the houses? Sure. I think that's something we're definitely down to work with. I'm always down to, we can show you some of the stuff that we're working on. I obviously have some stuff. Let me bring up my banner again. If you email us here, I have a lot of photos and reference about what the way the camp looks. We've talked about with them. I'm always down with working with, fans to talk about different things that they want to make and things like that. We're pretty open here, so definitely hit us up about that. Let me see. This looks like a great start for an open world Jason game. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's built in Unreal, so it has the capability to be expanded out. But this is a really, let me see. What does he say? Particle sprite based 3D fire. It looks. Yeah, Tyler knows. Yeah. All right. So if we were actually, let me take that away real quick. Boom. There we go. Brandon says, thanks for showing that. Really good stuff. And Mitch says the lighting VFX are top shelf as well. Thank you guys. I'm going to bring us back into the mix. That way people can actually see us. Might get a little bit more view on that. Let's head back over to the camp.
Okay.
Let me see. Gollum is really good. I know him. He'll do great work and given the mod he works for. It's awesome. So I guess you guys are probably working on the modded Friday the 13th game, the Resurrection one, which I know was not really supposed to be worked on right now, but you guys just got to be careful out there. Yeah, I mean, I just want to hang out here for a little bit. I mean, I like hanging out at these places in real life, so it's cool to sort of be here and do this. Let me see. Are there any other questions that you guys want to ask? Is there anything else you guys want to know about the film, about animation? Is anybody interested in animation? Here we go. Moy's in the chat. Spoil. He gives it away. He did it. Jason will kill someone with a rubber ducky.
Thank you, Moy.
No,
by the way, Moy is our animation director at Mako Animation, and he is just crazy about Friday the 13th as well. He has proposed some of the shots or the kills that we have on this project.
Moy has questions about animation though. Why is it so fine?
Oh, because all of you guys have worked so well and so hard on this. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, let me echo that too. Thank you to everybody at both studios and everybody who's helped out along the way of getting this done. Shout out to John David Leslie for doing the storyboards for us. For John, why am I forgetting his name right now? But John, our editor, who cut together the reels for us. And, for those of you who have seen the first 3 minutes of the film in storyboard animatic form, you can watch it on the channel. It is live right now on the featured films. You can go watch the first kill in the film in storyboard animatic mode. And if you have a Never Hike Alone 2 Blu-ray, the full entire short is on the Blu-ray. So if you want to know what the spoiler is of how one of these characters gets killed with a weapon never used before, and let me tell you, it is brutal, it is cool, and it is artistic. You're definitely going to want to check out your Never Hike Alone 2 Blu-ray. Go into the bonus features, check out Ghost in the Fog, and if that doesn't get you motivated to back this campaign, I don't know what will. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Will this film reference Roy like past NHA movies? I've kind of wanted to know since we saw his mask like twice. Imagine a zombie Roy or something. I'll tell you what, if this gets funded and we get it to the, we will make an animated Roy movie. Juan, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Cool. I guess that's a call we're gonna have to build.
Ghost Jason meets Ghost Roy.
There we go. Oh, that'd be Ghost Jason versus Ghost Roy. We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to sneak some type of reference in here. Maybe we're gonna have to build an outhouse. We'll build the demon's outhouse or something. And
if you look closely to one of the props inside the house, when we get the props in there, there's a chocolate bar in there.
Nice. All right. Cool. There we go.
Amazing. This is part of the interior of the cabin number 3, the destroyed one. And also we have the channel, the Melanie, Talia, and Max that were part of Armass Productions. So I'm so proud of them because Melanie was so helpful in this way. She's our 3D art director. So thank you, Melanie, for all the help. And well, yeah, all the environments, all the little things, even this mushroom, we created. So this is a beautiful work of Talia. Yeah, Talia, that could bring all those little details that bring, so much life to the environment. And also part of the work and the recreation of the VFX and, the optimization in the 3D department are also thank you for this. Max Molina was so very helpful. He's our 3D technical artist at Unreal Engine. So yeah, I want to thank you, my team, for this bring this beautiful experience, and well, of course, being part of the beautiful Friday the 13th projects.
Well, it's good to have everybody, and I'm proud of all the work that's here. We're happy to share it. Mitch has a question for us. Do you have a kill set in stone for the guy Jason gets his jacket from? I do, and that would be in the Ghost of Crystal Lake, another ghost themed title. But that would be in the Ghost of Crystal Lake, which is right now. Best I can do is novella form. I'm going to write a novella for it, a very short, little short novel. We're going to do some paintings for it, and then that's going to tell that story. And then if we can get enough funding one day, maybe we'll get to animate it, because that would be a really fun one to animate, because that would be Jason coming all the way back from Manhattan, which I'm sure that will be a fun set to build. Oh, we got some. What's this going on here? We got some emoji stuff coming on. The little details make all the difference. Oh, look. Talia says thank you. Oh, I didn't realize they were in the chat. Good to see you guys. Let me see. What else do we have going on here? A novel. That's amazing. You guys plan on ever doing a comic? I would do a comic for Never Hike Alone, but because a previous comic got sued, Jason Rises. Not Rising, but Jason Rises. That got sued, and they couldn't make it, and that's how they ended up making Ripped to Shreds.
There's an Easter egg. Look over there. Footprints.
Look at that. Look at the details. Look at the steps. Nice. Is the is the bulletin board around here? The one that Dom looks at. I know I'm spoiling something, but that's in the sneak preview. I think it's on the other building, right? The one.
No, it's this building, because it's the tree on the.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna put it right there. All right, nice. Yeah. Now we're actually in a session of like, okay, where's this going? So this is a reference to one of the cabins that the tree actually fell on. So this is actually really funny. Let me see. Okay, a question for Ruby and Juan, respectively. How long does it take something like this to animate?
Oh. It depends.
It depends.
Yeah, because we can get one of the scenes in 5 seconds of one scene on 1 or 2 weeks, from roof to clean to color to composition, final compo. But if you have like 5 seconds of animation doing turnaround of the camera, it will take us like 3 weeks, maybe. It depends on the complexity, on how many characters do you have on screen. If you have blood, if you have rain, if you have fog on it, it depends so much. Moy, if you're there, you can type around some of the things I'm saying, just to know that I'm right.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely what it comes down to. There's definitely comes down to complexity. Yeah, some things can take really short, but like he says, like if we're moving the camera around, that perspective on that character really has to change every time we start to do that. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's why
not to get any spoilers, but we have a sequence that we have like this parallax, like Steven Spielberg parallax from Jaws. That one thing is going to the camera, and the environment is going to other.
Which is something you can't really kind of mimic in a fully 2D world, which is really cool. Yeah, so we're able to do the POVs, we're able to do all this stuff, which there is a little bit of that too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Does this movie get its own soundtrack? Also, yes, it does. Ryan Presdapple will be back to create something for this. Right now, we're using a lot of temp track from the previous films, but we're definitely going to have him working on something while he's also working on the final cut, which he's going to go in and do some work on as well. What did Moy say? Oh yeah, Moy. It took 10 years. Let me see. Do we have any other? This is great, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys agree, but one of the main inspirations to get this on black and white is from Jason Lips of Tom Malone.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. So talk about that a little bit, Juan, about the approach for putting it in black and white, and then how we're going to use some of the colors.
Yeah. Well, the idea is to have all the Ghosts in the Fog in black and white, and some of the details of the axe or a machete or an arrow or whatever prop pops up in the project is going to have like this yellow part of the prop, and part of the blood that also is red, but everything else is on black and white. So it's like kind of what is this movie? I forgot. You said
Sin City?
Yeah, Sin City. Yeah.
It
didn't take 10 years. It really comes down to budget and the triangle of necessity. Cheap or expensive quality. Yeah.
There we go. Jason Lives is a masterpiece of slash film of seeing it. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously big fans of Tom McLaughlin, and being friends with him too. I'm sure
it was incredible when you have on Ghost Files.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's so much fun to hang out with too, and like he just brings such a wealth of knowledge, and like he has that old school sentiment. So it's nice to be playing in that world and kind of doing different things with Jason that you don't really see, that we don't really see executed, because obviously Tom had that plan, but you got to kind of seek out the black and white cut. Where here we're making things because we know fans are going to want to see it, and we know it fits the fans' vibe.
Have you seen Jason Lives on black and white?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I want to see it in a theater is what I really want to do. I don't know if they're doing any special screenings of it, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's my favorite Friday, aside of Never Hike Alone.
Obviously.
Yeah. Do you have any tween rig based 2D animation? I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Do you have? Do you do any twin rig based 2D animation? Yeah, sure. That's part of the work that Moy does on the studio. We work on 2D rigs for the cutout, and also frame to frame. So there's a black and white cut of Jason Lives. No, there's not. Sorry to answer this also, but there is no Jason Lives on black and white. But Tom did the movie, so you can change the color on your TV and see it on black and white as a Hammer Films tribute kind of movie, Yeah, okay, that's the answer, Moy. No rigs.
All right, we got it. Moy's got the answer there.
Maybe you recognize this from the few sneak peek that Vincent showing us.
Just to be clear, that's not a spoiler. Getting Lana with the axe on the back.
Yeah, that's
if you can show the other part, please, Ruby.
Yeah, what's Jason doing back there?
Yeah.
So the Jason with the arrow, or Jason?
No, the axe, because you have the axe on the back of
he
Lana.
was getting the old the Joey treatment.
Yeah, for Joey. I saw earlier that someone says to us that we should put the little house from the enchiladas of part 5. That is so sad, but maybe that's a sad way to go.
Maybe what I'll do is I will put a special perk on the campaign that somebody can buy the outhouse. Somebody can get the outhouse and we'll put their name above it.
Looks more alive when it's not a proper. Yeah,
maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we can put some names on these cabins and be able to get some stuff there. I know we're gonna do a wall of missing person posters, which we're gonna work on. That's gonna come towards the end of the film, and we're gonna use that during the credit sequence. So towards the end, as we add more as we add more missing persons posters to this wall, that our backers who are there, that we're going to do their likeness, and you're going to see it all through the credits of different people's faces, just the way we did it in Never Hike Alone 2. Oh, we got some more credits coming in. Let's see. It's so funny. When I was a kid, I used to cut the color off my TV when I watched the beginning of Jason Lives, only cut it back on when he puts the hockey mask on. That's cool. It's cool to see how many people felt the same way, because when I was a kid watching it, and I thought I was the only one. Well, I mean, we all grew up as big Friday the 13th fans, and now look at all of us kind of coming together and still hanging out and doing that. So that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right, so we're hitting about that hour limit that I usually go. I'm gonna open up the field for one last round of questions. Ruby, thank you for taking us around the camp. I'm gonna relieve you of duty, and we're gonna close this down. But thank you for taking us. Oh, I gotta add Juan back. I'm gonna bring all three of us back to big screen. It's pissing Mersons, actually. Yes, that's exactly the pissing Mersons posters. If you want to get one of those, it's going to be a very special secret perk. So yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys for both being here, and Ruby for, and your team, and everybody, your team at both companies who have been helping bring this to life, and be able to show this to people. I think this was hopefully really cool for everyone in the chat who stuck around to sit around and take a tour through Camp Crystal Lake. So thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for bringing this beautiful idea in a 3D, 2D way.
Yeah, and thank you too for the invitation to be here. We are more than pleased to be part of the Ghost Files. I'm very excited for all you guys to see Ghost in the Fog. It's really, really fun to make this production.
A lot, yeah, agree.
Really, animation really is a beautiful piece of work. Oh, thank you. We are trying our best. I have a question. When you are inviting the animation director, he's awesome.
More.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. No, yeah, Moy, we'll have to get you on next time. We'll get a nice it will be like the Brady Bunch here. Oh, check this out. Ghost Jason's in the chat. What's up, Ghost Jason?
Oh.
Yeah, I know Tyler would really love this. Oh, I keep just skipping it. Tyler loved this. Everybody's saying really great things. Let's see who else. Allegro's laughing at everything. Steve DMV can't wait till Never Hike Alone 3, which it's a long way off. I got to convince the lead actor to do it. We got a lot of stuff, but we got to figure out this first. But this is going to be a lot of fun. No, I'm really excited about this. I want this to be a part of, the Final Cut Blu-ray. I have a feeling that by the time we get this done, we have 3 Friday the 13th next year. We're going to have an opportunity to complete this film. We're going to get it on the film festival circuit. My plan with this, for backers who don't know it, or anyone who hasn't backed the film yet, the idea is that we're not going to release the films publicly until they're completely done. These last two, the Final Cut and Ghost in the Fog, we're taking as much time in post as we need to really nail them out to make them good. So we're not going to release them publicly till next year. But as soon as they're ready for this year, or as soon as they are ready for us to review and we do give an approval, we are going to release links to only people who back these campaigns. You'll have access to both the Final Cut and Ghost in the Fog to watch them before anyone else. It's not exclusive forever, but it will be exclusive for a short time. So if you want to be on that list, you have to back Ghost in the Fog. In fact, I have to maybe make the 3 of us even tiny again, kind of like that. And let me bring this back up. because it helps people. Boop, this thing. Yeah, you guys should definitely hang on one sec. I'm just kind of working on something here for us. But you guys got to back the campaign, and it's going to help us. Let me see. This is going to fill, boom, save. There we go. Update layout. There we go. Now we're actually there. The more support we get, the better we can make the film, the faster we can make the film. You know, if we're able to hit our goal and keep going beyond it, it means we can add more people, or we can, we can add those resources to help us really kind of take this to the next level and keep working on it. Get that exclusive access to it. Once it is done, we're going to put them on the Blu-rays. The Blu-rays are going to go out. And hopefully the Blu-rays are going to go out before we even get them out into the public and it goes on YouTube, because we want people to have them at home on Blu-ray. We want people to be able to watch it in their own homes and be able to share it with their friends and show them on the Friday the 13th and host their own private screenings. And then we're going to take this out on the road. We're going to take it to different film festivals. We're going to put this up on big screens for people. We're going to celebrate Friday the 13th like we haven't, like Friday the 13th 3 times in 1 year is my favorite year every time it happens. So this is definitely one of the things I want to be able to show and share with fans. And who knows, maybe the Jason universe is watching and they want some animation and they can come talk to us and Juan and Ruby, and we can make some really, really cool stuff. We did pitch this to Warner Brothers at one time. And I do still think that this would be a great show on Netflix or Peacock. As a, you can have Crystal Lake and you can have this, and you can have you have the best of both worlds. Yeah, so definitely support on Indiegogo. The campaign will be going through June 15th. Right now we are at, let's go do a little update. Let's see how we're doing. Let me see. And I can also present. I could share a screen. I can go to window. Let me do this. Let me see. This one, share, boop. And then there it is. Yeah, right now we're at 103 backers, $11,667. We're at 23% of $50,000 goal. We have 23 days left. I know we can do it. I know that there are lots of great backers out there. We have the box set. We have the posters. We have all the Blu-rays. We have the Toxic Revenger shirt and the Death Kurt shirt, which we're going to be pushing more this week. The box set bundle. We have associate producer, co-producer, head counselor, camp director. So we have all of those. And what do those mean? That means you get commentary tracks, missing persons posters, the executive producer that comes with a character design. So we still have Dom. We still have one character left that can be redesigned to be named and look like you. It's only $5,000 to be an executive producer on this project, to get the likeness made like you, to get the character named after you, and to get a credit at the head of the film with me and Juan and Ruby and everyone else who's on this project. That's a pretty cool thing. Same thing with the regular producer, co-producer, associate producers. All of these come with missing persons posters. If you buy anything, there is an add-on to get the fans only commentary track that can be added on by anyway. And this is just the start. We're going to be bringing back the 8-inch Ghost Jason figures. We're going to be doing more 1/6 scale Jason figures, and we're going to be hopefully bringing back some Ghost Hawks and maybe a couple of weapons as well. And we're going to dive into the well and see what else we can come up with. Maybe some VHS tapes. I don't think we have. We might be able to do a box set. Who knows? I think I only might be able to do like 20 of them. But we may make those available. Those are going to be very rare. So we can talk about those things. So if you do have an idea for the campaign, if there's a perk that you want to see, if there's a vendor that you think that we should be working with, there's only one thing you got to do. You just got to hit me up at wompstompfilms@gmail.com, and I will make sure that I do whatever I can to get what I get in this campaign to help us reach that goal. And we're going to need your help. And if you haven't done it yet, please take the, please find your way to this link. Hold on, let us get back to that side. Please take that link, share it around. Word of mouth is the biggest thing for this. So if everybody this week, throughout the weekend, through Memorial Day weekend, take that link, share it on your social media page. If you've backed, share with other people that you've pledged. If you haven't made your pledge, make your pledge this weekend. Let's try to get to 25% before the end of the weekend. We'll start our march towards 50% on Monday and start the week off right, Memorial Day right. So with that said, I'm going to put us back in triplet mode. Ruby and Juan, it was great having you guys here. Thank you for coming and spending some time with me and spending some time with the Womp Stomp Films stuff. Let's see. Everybody's saying thank you. The merch looks sick. Thank you to Ruby. Oh, nice. Matt's in the chat. My daughter's school has their last day planned on Friday the 13th. That's really, really funny. Matt Conway says, hey, Vin, this looks great. Love the style you guys have going here. Thank you, Matt. I really do appreciate that. What if Reggie and the Reckless crew grew up like Creighton Duke, hunter slasher villains? I think we'll have to do another animated thing about Reggie. That's how I want to do Roy. I want to do Reggie coming back and resurrecting Roy like Jason Lives. I think we got to make that movie at some point.
Yeah.
Tyler thinks we had some brilliant guests on tonight.
Thank you.
Ruby and Juan, your divas. Thanks, Miss Girl Bunny. Forming this link to all the boys. Thank you. Definitely got to share that link. Does Vincent voice act as Jason and Ghost in the Fog? I guess I could do some grunts. We'll do some stuff. I'll do my best Steve Dash for when he gets kicked in the balls by Ginny. Oh, it's Can American Mike's here with the project vehicle. He's here. Looks like we got everything going. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye to Ruby and Juan. Thank you guys for being on the channel. We'll definitely have to have you back when we have some more updates. I think once we get a little bit further down the line in production, we'll come back and maybe do some reveal some shots, maybe reveal some clips, maybe we'll do some
Sure.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'm going to say bye to everybody. So I'm going to send you guys to the backstage, but we'll get you going in a second.
Okay, and thank you very much, and thank you, Ruby, everyone at Armass Productions, and everyone at Mako Animation Studio. You're doing a great job. I cannot name everyone because there are a lot, but Moy, Alma, Luigi, everyone who has worked here. So thank you, guys.
Cool. Yep. Thank you guys for joining. Ruby, does anybody want to say bye to before you go?
Well, just say that thank you for all for coming and seeing a few sneak peek about all the amazing project in which we are working on. And I am big fan, from Stomp and Mako Animation. So thank you so much, guys, for the opportunity, and also from being part of something so exciting that mixes 3D, 2D, and the beautiful world of Friday the 13th. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. It was great having you. I'm going to say my goodbyes to everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for checking in for tonight's show. It was great having you. If you haven't, like I said, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the things, spread the word around, spread the links. I'll be back next week with more updates on things. I think I'm going to have a couple new guests. I'm going to look and see if we're going to have that. We'll have some fun times. I'm probably sure there'll be more updates from the Jason universe and this game stuff. We're digging in the background to figure out what's going on with that. So definitely stay tuned. Stay tuned to Friday the 13th franchise.com and everything else going there. Thank you again to Brandon Scott Murphy for that wonderful article. You can actually read the article and the other articles that I referenced. The links are in the description of this video. So if you want to read Brandon's article or the article about Harry's game or the Stryker Entertainment press release, you can read all of that down below. I actually named my sources, so there's definitely that. But without any further ado, I'm going to say goodbye for the weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend here for the States. So everybody out there celebrating a holiday weekend, enjoy your holiday weekends. Say thank you to a service member who has done what, service members of family. We do this in memorial of them and thank them for their service and everything that they do for our country and to keep everyone protected around the world. But until then, I hope you guys all have a safe weekend. And until next time, I will see you on the trails. Good night, everyone.